I'm Steven Whipp, I'm from the Environment Agency, and I'm a flood risk management technical specialist. We're here today with a public exhibition to explain our proposals for the Salmons Brook Flood alleviation scheme. In 2000 there was extensive flooding in the Montague Road area of Edmonton, and just under 200 properties were flooded, some of them up to several feet deep, and it took a long time for those residents to recover and extensive damage was caused. In order to alleviate that degree of flooding, we need to do a number of works around Grange Park and Edmonton, and they all need to happen to alleviate the flooding because of the complex arrangement of the rivers. Up in Grange Park, we need to store floodwater on an open space so that it is delayed from coming down into Edmonton and causing problems. We need to construct an earth embankment across the river valley, and this will be up to 2.5 metres high by the river, but it will obviously taper down to ground level on the valley sides. We have shaped this embankment to avoid as many trees as possible, and we've also graded the sides of it so they are shallow, so that we can plant them up and grass them so they blend into the environment. In a flood event, the water will back up behind the embankment and then slowly release as the flood event passes. In order to construct this embankment, we need to bring in some clay in order to do that. The lorry movements for that will happen over a 4-month period, and up to 20 lorries a day and up to 6 lorries an hour at the most busiest. We recognise that this will be a disturbance to the local area, and so we plan our deliveries to be outside the busy times on the local roads, especially with the 3 local schools in the area and the traffic problems generally. We would also plan to marshal our traffic so that it wasn't waiting in residential roads, and also did not cause blockages. If necessary, we would park the lorries away from the area and call them in one at a time. During construction of the works, we will need to have a construction compound in the open space for our equipment and our materials. But we recognise this is an important open space for local people and an important route for people to get from Enfield town into Grange Park. And so we will make allowance and have access for pedestrians in order to go through our construction site to the open space and on up to the Glen and Enfield town as they desire. Down in Lower Edmonton, we need to do extensive works to alleviate the flooding and prevent it occurring again. These include raising some walls on the sides of Salmons Walk between Montague Road and Plevna Road, and also smoothing the route of the river underneath Montague Road with a new culvert and new open channel, and also putting an embankment around the recreation ground so that floodwater is contained within the recreation ground and doesn't spill onto local roads and into people's houses. These embankments will be up to 1.6 metres high in this corner because the ground is low, to just by the football pitch where there'll be next to nothing. This gives us an opportunity to improve the recreation area for both people and wildlife through landscaping. The works will take 100 weeks. This is because the access to Salmons Walk is very limited, and there's very limited space for our machinery to be able to work. On the recreation ground itself, the works will take 58 weeks, and we will always keep open the football pitch and the play areas and access to the pavilion and boxing club for people to enjoy during our works. Although it hasn't flooded since 2000, the river has been full to its bank tops several times since then. The chance of flooding in the Montague Road area is about a 1 in 20 chance in any year, which is really quite very significant. With our proposals in place, the chance would reduce to about a 1 in 75 chance in any year. There is also a river that comes underneath Montague Road, and we are diverting some floodwater away down the boundary ditch in Ponder's End, so the risk from the Saddler's Mill stream will become a 1 in 35 chance in any year. In terms of expenditure, this is a justified expenditure of public money because the damages avoided by implementing our scheme are 6 times the cost over its lifetime. We intend to start the works at all sites simultaneously, yes, to have the shortest possible programme, and to also have the Grange Park works completed before the works in the Montague Road area, so there would be some immediate benefit while we were finishing off the rest of the project. We need to secure planning permission for our scheme, and we intend to submit a planning application in April of this year, and that is expected to take 16 weeks for a decision to be made. With planning consent following that, we are aiming to start construction in November 2012. And as I say, the overall programme would be 100 weeks, so it would last until 2014.